brothers, we go back to our topic of the World Resolution. And now we are going to review the resolution and discuss how is the practice also in the organization in order to have unity among the different points that have been discussed worldwide. The order of the resolution is done, taken from the booklet. Is not in order of dates and also not in order of importance, but it's just a summary of the different resolutions. Vegetarianism is a resolution from the 2002-65, and I ask you also to help me with reading in order to all of us cooperate in this resolution. Maybe we start with brother here, we go through. Thank you.
Proposal A, to abandon the position of not eating flesh as a test for belonging to the church. Proposal B, can the members of our reform eat clean meat or fish, snails, shrimp, etc. in countries where vegetarian products are not available? How many are in favor of maintaining vegetarianism as a condition for church membership? A vote by hand was taken, resulting in 63 votes in favor and 3 against. There were 5 abstentions.
Yeah, I'm just taking the summary of the minutes. There is no much argumentation in the presentation, but just reviewing the position of the church. Because sometimes it had happened, some countries start argument, okay, we can try to introduce some clean meats, and that was the topic of discussion on the position of the church now is vegetarianism. And important to remember also, because it has been a problem of different places, it is, and Ellen G. White mentioned, that it's important to be practiced before doing the covenant with the baptism. And it's important this to be part of our custom also in our churches. Another resolution related with the vegetarianism.
Proposal. Promote the teaching about the convenience of a diet free from dairy products and avoid them as much as possible at all of our official meetings. 70 votes to accept this proposal and 6 no.
Okay, as we have seen the traffic light, it was a discussion about the yellow light we can mention, and several countries presented a proposal if we can rule that we should not take any more those as a doctrinal issue. But the resolution was, as we hear the presentation of the traffic light, that they are, we can recommend to avoid those products, but still it's not a sin. We cannot categorize them in the same level as the red. Go to the next resolution. Church elder.
Proposal. The American Union proposes that ordained elders have authority to process with the fellowshipment of a member. 60 yes and 15 no.
Okay, clarification related to the function of a church elder. And here is mentioned ordained elder. I don't want to make a confusion because in English there is in the church manual, it can be problem in the language because it's used mostly church elder in relation with the administration of the local church. But it's important to understand is a difference between church elder as ordained elder as the church leader. In this case, is mentioning the ordained elder because we need to have an ordained person when this fellowshipping is done in order to talk the principal, the doctrinal issue with the church for clarification. And also, the reverse of this, we are going to touch it a little bit maybe if we have time. But in this point, I'd like to clarify, when we baptize members, this is also important because we are talking here about this fellowship member. And many countries, they have done the mistakes in order to proceed baptism without the authorization of the church. Baptism on this fellowship is an issue that we need to go through the church, through the local church, through a vote. We understand that sometimes it's an issue that there is no other choice, because it's clear in the testimonies that the person needs to be disfellowship, but it's important, it needs to be taken by the church.
Business meeting, you mean business?
In a business meeting, yes. It needs to be done business meeting for both steps, baptism as well as disfellowship, any church mentioned. Contribution to the General Conference from resolution from 2007. Brother Danny, can you help me with this? Please.
Considering the importance of faithfulness in regards to tithes and offerings, the GC committee proposes that every church, mission field, institutional work or union that has been found unfaithful in paying tithes and offerings should be restricted. A pastoral work need to be conducted in order to help to return to the faithfulness. If this didn't help, the following restrictions need to be applied. Such church, field, institutional work, or union shall not have the right to receive and kind of financial support. Such church, field, institutional work, or union shall not have the right to send delegates to the highest level of the organization.
You can continue reading. It's still part of the resolution.
The church, field, institutional work, or union will be organized by the next superior level of the organization. If after having given the necessary technical instructions and made the respective auditing of the accounting, and having followed the steps of Matthew 18, those leaders continue to remain unfaithful, they cannot be re-elected. At the same time, the committee of the General Conference should fulfill its duty related to the decisions taken by the world delegation in session. Officers of the General Conference who don't fulfill their duties should not be proposed for election. 88 votes in favor, 12 votes against, 6 abstentions.
How do we apply this resolution? What it's talking about? It's important to understand that this resolution is reaching different levels: church, mission field, or institution of the work, or union. And he is talking about the unfaithfulness. And the first step is to talk with the treasurer or with the leaders. This kind of started, as I mentioned, affecting the church level. And if they don't correct the problems, they are losing some rights. And this is the right of receiving help, also the right of sending delegates. This is the first part of the resolution. And they need to be followed Matthew 18 in order to correct. Also, this resolution brings the point of supervising those churches or those fields or those unions. And another section of the resolution is the importance also of the General Conference as leader of the work to implement the resolution. And here is that, for me, the importance now to show you the resolution, because we need to apply all of them together. Conference planning, another topic. It's very missing topics, but just for you to remember, because they are practical issues. Brother Acevedo?
It was proposed that the conferences to which the General Conference sends representatives be planned by the General Conference and that the unions be notified about the dates in time. Approved without a dissenting vote.
Okay. Here is important, had to do with reorganization of unions or meetings of union of delegates that will discuss about bylaws, or had to do with meetings of delegates that will have a report. Some countries are legally required delegates be gathered every year for presenting reports. And all these meetings need to be present the representative of the higher level, division of General Conference, talking about the countries, mission, field, or unions. And the days for this meeting need to be in consultation with the General Conference. It's important, they wanted to confirm the dates. It's not the field or unions, but the General Conference, because of the heavy agenda that we have with many different countries. So this is important to work in unity between the two. It is true that we need to consider also as General Conference some bylaws, because some countries have a specific months, and we need to consider that also, fixing the dates. Term of office, another resolution. Brother Simon?
The following proposal was presented in entering to the office of accrediting to the possibility to be limited to no more than 8-10 years of a course. One may be rejected after a rest period. It is not good when leaders and their work occupy the same position for decades. decades. Good for the respective person as well as for the work that after a certain period of time transfer be made when changes are made in the offices. Servants of the law have served a long time and his work cannot be set aside if there are not fundamental problems at hand and the age allows it. There should be a allowed to work in some other capacity. This proposal results in a vote of 46 years, 27 no, and I abstain.
One abstention. Thank you, Brother Simon. Here is the period of office, and especially referring was originally developed related with the General Conference periods. That's why the 8 or 10 years, because the period 4 years or 5 years, in order to have 2 periods, but no more than 2 periods. And this had been also applied in different unions and fields in the 2 periods re-election. And brothers can have all the responsibility and then can also return the work. And this is helpful for the work. Publications, another resolution.
The reading,
Yes, brother?
the reading, it's not a set law, it's said according to possibilities.
Yes.
So that needs to be explained, because there
Yes.
will be people who said they cannot go over 10 years.
Yes, true. It had been places that had been the case, very difficult case, like Jamaica itself, that had been one minister for a long time.
Yeah.
But behind this resolution is also testimonies, and we need to try to work on what the General Conference has been doing is trying to transfer ministers from place to place in order to also have changes on the work, or new motivation for the work. We are trying to do our best, but it had been limitation also in the work related with that. Right?
Why not also add to that you need to train also? You just don't change the thing. You need to prepare, because that is what we lack. We want to change, but we don't have a substitute.
Yes, true. Important is to have ministers. In order to have ministers, we need to have certain development, certain training. And we also need to consider that the Lord can use any minister for the work. And God can make the people also capable for the work. There are some conditions. We try to apply this as much as possible because it's for the healthy development of the work. Publication, let's continue. Brother, go, please.
It was decided that 2 copies of all writing published by all unions should be sent to the General Conference for a record as documents, another copy to each member of the literary committee.
Okay, this is an old resolution, but it's still important in order to have the copies on the archive. There is no resolution that changed resolution, and as long as there is no resolution that cancel a resolution, it's applicable for us. And that's important, that publication that being done, here is talking about 2 different levels. One is the literature committee, and I mentioned, I think yesterday about this, the importance of all publication, not be an incentive of a person, but be a material developed by the literature committee. That's why working with the literature committee, you imagine this is one from 1925, one of the beginning. It's true that the structure was different, but we practice still. Countries send regularly the publication to the General Conference in order to keep here in the archive.
How about the question, like if a local church has a question about doctrinal matters, will they need to be sent that as a record of the archive?
No, we are doing here publication, official publication.
So
I mean here books that we publish in different fields and union in order to have here. Yesterday we mentioned about the way of this when we talk about the resolution, that if there is problem in the local church, let the problem then be sent to the higher level for discussion to help them. And important also to be not a personal issue. If the personal issue is dealt also personally, but if the issue is dealt by the local church officially, then can be dealt officially, formally by the higher level. And if dealt officially by the delegates, then can be sent by the World Assembly. There are issues that it's good possible that need to be again extend for more clarification on the resolution. That is the time for us to analyze how far the resolution has been developed and to think if it's bringing conflict in our work that we may extend some of them in order to have unity in the same principle. Cross as a symbol, another resolution. Brother Yanka, you can help me with the reading.
Tanzanian Union requested a definition of our understanding concerning worshipping the cross and exalting the ministry of the cross. The results were 17 yes, 55 no, and 3 abstentions.
Just explaining the context of this is, since that resolution, we decided to take all the crosses as a symbol of the churches. That's why we do not have crosses in our churches. We also emphasize in that delegation that important is the symbol of the resurrection, that the cross is more a symbol that had been brought in the church by Catholics. We speak also in our material is also mentioned about, as he mentioned here, the ministry of the cross, but this is a little bit different. But as a symbol of the church symbol, we do not use the cross as a symbol. Worship. Another element, Brother Joel.
The principles were discussed point by point, and a uniform order of worship was ratified. The church elder opens the meeting. While he prays, the congregation remains sitting in silent prayer. They are not to stand up during this prayer.
Why is there a resolution in this custom? Because in some countries, when the minister kneels to pray, all the congregation stand up. And it was brought until the point for discussion worldwide. When I know some brethren in some places do not consider the resolution, but I have seen when it's been in places, and then I see when you are not used to such a custom, in order to unify the custom of the church was mentioned. And this testimony also confirming this, that the importance when this is silent prayer to have reverence on the congregation. I'm not mentioning much of the argumentation, but we have the resolution and we need to work in having a unified system of worship. And I want to mention in the system of, here is talking about the order of worship. In the order of worship, we also need to go back to the church manual, because especially the northern part of Americas is having, by tradition, a different system than is set in the church manual, what is also used to do in Europe and the Americas. Maybe later on we can talk a little bit about this, because we need to unify. It's important to unify our way of, in order to find identity in the members, in a uniform way of worship. Another resolution, dance. Sister, if you can help me.
South Union requested a definition of our official position regarding dancing, since it is not addressed in the principles of faith in the church manual. A vote by hand was taken, resulting in 73 no votes, meaning that we are against dancing.
Okay. Protestants include dancing in their own ceremonies, in their own service. And important is to explain that this is a issue of passion, stimulating the human passions. Our service should not be a show when we talk about the service, but even in the immorality that had brought the dancing. We are not in favor of any kind of dancing. Committee members' right to vote. Another resolution. It's a long resolution. Yes. Maybe we can, brother, if you can help me here in the front, you can read it a little bit better.
We again spoke about the right of the General Conference members to vote in accordance with the proposal of the Great Colombian Union. According to the church manual, We requested clarification as to whether the permanent right to vote, which the General Conference committee members have, can also be applied to the union and field committees. If this is the case, on what basis is this right exercised? After long discussions, the General Conference resolution of September 14, 1966 was confirmed, which states, in accordance with the previous decision, the General Conference committee members will continue to have right to vote. This decision was made with 7 votes in favor, 13 against, and 2 abstentions. Along with the previous resolution, the following was decided. The General Conference members' right to vote should not be extended to the field and union committee members. As a foundation for this, the danger was mentioned that the number of members of a committee of a union could be higher than the number of its delegates. This resolution was accepted with 51 votes in favor, 8 against, and 2 abstentions.
Here we see one resolution that had been changed in the level of the General Conference. Some periods the General Conference committee did not have the right to vote. The present resolution, they have the right to vote. But I want to mention this: several countries, unions, and feel they have been confused in this, and they have automatically given the committee the right to vote. And for me, it has been important when I do the reorganization in countries to review the delegates which church they represent. When I have realized sometime when I do the review that there are delegates that they do not have the right to vote, that there have been unions or feel that they have been committee members given the right to vote, or they have wrong application of the delegation, not just in the number of delegates per church, but the election of delegates were not done properly. It's important here to have unified system also, and to consider, maybe later on we will see the number of delegates, how to represent the delegation. Now we go another topic, time. If this question we will deal it in the next minutes, we are going to be open for question and answer. Let's try to go a little bit farther. Brother Petko, maybe you can help me with this. It's not long.
It was decided that in harmony with the Bible and with the testimonies, no time money be used in the printing of literature, etc.
Okay, and here is important because when we review treasury, and that is something important that the leaders need to consider, that the time money may not be used for other purpose as what have been established by the revelation of the Lord. Another point related with, Brother Watts, if you can help me with tithe.
Faithfulness of giving full tithes entails great blessing from heaven itself. Therefore, we refer to the text of the Holy Scriptures of Malachi 3:10 and resolve that the tithe should be given from the gross salary or from the income. Members who are unfaithful and pay no tithes may not hold office. Nevertheless, unfaithfulness in the tithe is not a reason for disfellowshipment.
Okay, this is the first resolution that I'd like to mention. Later on this resolution I was part modified, but I want to emphasize here a couple of points. One of them is that the tithes need to be given by the gross salary, because this had also been an issue that had not been a unity. What does it mean, a gross salary? That is not the salary that I receive in cash, but is the salary that has been established by law. That means that I need to pay, we need to explain this to the members, my tithe, from my gross salary, from all, because part has been deducted for contribution that I receive in service, and if I don't consider that, I'm not paying tithe from my whole income, or for everything that I receive, blessing that I receive from the tithe. This is part of the resolution here. The second part is mentioned here that had not been also modified, is that members do not pay tithes. We have also been emphasizing this in the reorganization, that delegates that go to the higher level, they should be faithful in tithe. We should review this. Ministers should do that. It's an important work and had not been done properly. When ministers visit the churches, it's important minister to ask for the books and review the books. And then we will see that there is problem with faithfulness. But I have seen very few places that ministers systematically are revising or reviewing the treasury books of the local church. And this is important for the spirituality of the church, because the tithe is a thermometer of the spirituality of the person. And I recommend the minister here, please do this systematically. I have seen that many countries where there's problem on the treasury of the union level, I took the time to review field books and also even go to church books. And I have seen that the problem was not really in the field, that the union were trying the best, but the treasury of the local church did not have any visit for years. And they were not having any proper instruction. They were mistaken by ignorance of the local treasurers. We need to help each other in this point. Here is when the resolution was again modified, and it's important to read it. The first one for 1956. Now we read the extension of this resolution. Maybe Brother Palacios, you can help me reading here.
The subject of the tithe was again considered, and the result was the following resolution. According to our experience and considering God's word and the testimonies, as delegated to the General Conference, we see ourselves motivated to complete and extend the brief resolution of June 12, 1956, faithfulness in tithe. Members who have made a covenant with God and have promised to be faithful to God's requirements, yet after a certain time have been unfaithful in the tithe, should be asked about the reason, reminded of their promise at the time they were baptized, and lovingly be admonished to be faithful. The possible reason should be put in order, and they should be reminded of what God has said concerning the matter in the Bible and the testimonies. If all the effort remains unsuccessful, once enough time has been given for the individual to think things over, his case should present it to the church so it may apply the necessary discipline. In regard to the tithe, the churches, fields, unions, and mission fields are also subject to this regulation. Treasurers who do not carry out their function properly should be called to give account.
Yeah, here we then had the extension or the modification, because the first resolution says that they cannot be taken discipline, but here, the resolution 1983, it mentioned, according with the testimony, it is necessary because it's unfaithful, and the testimony mentioned clear that not giving tithe is a sin. It had its biblical proof. Another point, maybe just the time is over, but let me just go for this last one. It's a resolution that had also not been properly considered. And this is a material, a week of the World Youth Revival. A week of World Youth Revival should be an official world program of an organization, and it is to take place every year in the month of June. And this is a task that is in the hand of the youth department as well as the publishing department. And the unions and fields should consider those materials in the same level like other official materials. What are the official materials? Can you help me?
Sabbath school.
Sabbath school. What other official material we have?
Week of prayer reading.
Week of prayers. What other official material do we have?
Watchman.
Sabbath watchman. This is what we have in the week of prayer, the week revival week for the youth department is also important. And I require, please, all the ministers and leaders to consider this and to ask how the material being done. Because many times the church have no idea that we have this kind of material. Yes. And it's important to do it for the benefit of our youth. The youth department, important to try to keep track of time, because it's time to be presented, as well as the unions and field in the distribution and the application of the materials. We will continue. We have again another section that we may finish the resolution. Thank you very much.